faster than a speeding bullet. More powerful than a locomotive, able to leap tall buildings at a single bound. Look, up in the sky, it's a bird.
It's a plane.
It's Superman. Yes, it's Superman, strange visitor from another planet who came to Earth with powers and abilities far beyond those of mortal men, and who, disguised as Clark Kent, mild-mannered reporter for a great metropolitan newspaper, fights a never-ending battle for truth, justice, and the American way.
Smallville, a teeny town buried in rural Kansas, home to pastures, barns, farms, windmills, and Clark Kent. The only begotten son of Krypton, Kal-El was sent to Earth and discovered by Martha and Jonathan Kent. They raised the boy throughout his formative years. After graduating, Clark moved to the big city, Metropolis. This city is where Kal-El was finally able to reach his full potential. If Smallville is where Clark Kent grew up, Metropolis was the hometown of Superman. Joe Shuster and Jerry Siegel created the character and a large part of his origin stories in Action Comics, which first hit the shelves in 1938. A century earlier, in 1839, the real town of Metropolis, Illinois came to be. Throughout its history, the town only boasted a few notable residents, such as Buddy Hall, a member of the Pocket Billiard Hall of Fame, Kurt Jones, the creator of Dippin' Dots ice cream, and the final resting place of Robert Stroud, the Birdman of Alcatraz. Economically, the town never flourished. However, the uranium hexafluoride processing facility supported hundreds of the town's less than 7,000 residents. All in all, the town was less than remarkable. The infrastructure of a city that had lasted for over 100 years was beginning to crumble. So, naturally, Superman came to save the day.
Hi! Come on and meet my pal, Clark Kent, the star of Superman.
City Hall in town began to hand out bags of kryptonite. The weekly paper was retitled The Metropolis Planet. Normally, DC Comics, the owner of Superman, wouldn't allow for this blanket copyright infringement. But the Detective Comics company had bigger plans for Metropolis. On January 21st, 1972, Superman came to Metropolis. Or rather, DC Comics publisher Carmine Infantino, a slew of unnamed dignitaries came with Reverend Charles Chandler, who wore George Reeves' original Superman costume. Superman Day was a town holiday wherein public schools were even closed. This was just the beginning. A few months later, the Illinois House of Representatives passed Resolution 572, which declared Metropolis the official hometown of the Man of Steel.
It's just what you've been waiting for. You asked for it, now here it is.
That same year, Neil Adams, a comic book artist, was commissioned to design The Amazing World of Superman. The design began with the 200-foot tall statue of Superman. You would enter under him through a Googie-style roof, which would lead to a plaza that would feature attractions like the Bottle City of Candor, Superboy's home, a Smallville Main Street, a Bizarro playground, a simulated rocket ride to Krypton, a Fortress of Solitude complete with interplanetary zoo filled with moving replicas of alien beasts, which were joined with a gallery showcasing the villains of Superman. In addition to these theme park attractions, the park boasted more modern amenities, like a craft store, a supermarket, a hotel, a mall, a skating rink, a restaurant. It was designed to serve the city of Metropolis while contributing to its newly discovered tourism industry. The plan's estimated budget was $50 million, which roughly translates to just under $300 million today. At different points, it seemed like DC Comics was pushing for it, while at other times it appears the city itself was a driving force behind its development. Within the same year, DC published a special edition comic, which gave viewers a glimpse into the amazing world of Superman. Pretty soon, an exhibition center was opened in town, where models of the park were on display with other memorabilia for sale. And just when it was about to happen, it didn't.
This is NBC Nightly News, Wednesday, October 17th. Reported by John Chancellor.
Good evening. The Middle East war produced developments all over the world today. The oil-producing countries of the Arab world decided to use their oil as a political weapon. They will reduce oil production by 5% a month until the Israelis withdraw from occupied territories.
But if in the months to come the Arabs cut it off gradually, as they threaten, by next summer the shortage will be far more serious than it was this past summer.
The 1973 oil crisis didn't just affect tourism. The entire country took a hit economically, but it was even harder for the town of Metropolis. Just when they were on the cusp of becoming super, they found out they weren't so special. It took the town years to recover from the hope and prospects that had eluded them. But by 1978, they began to host a Superman celebration that still continues to this day. Thousands flock to this Superman mecca every June. This 4-day celebration has a myriad of events centered around the Man of Steel. Eventually, a Superman museum was even put up on Main Street. This little museum is home to the largest collection of Superman memorabilia. The city is still primarily a town known for its uranium processing plant, which 42 former employees have died of cancer, brought on by radiation.
That's right, it's uranium, not kryptonite, posing a threat in Superman's real hometown. Honeywell is a company on track to post $35 billion in sales this year, selling things like jet engines to fuel the U.S. Army in the war on terror. It wants workers to foot more of the bill for their medical costs. The union refuses and believes the company really wants them out. They've constructed more than 60 crosses here that represent people who have either died or survived cancer they believe was related to the radioactive chemicals they were exposed to working at the plant.
The U.S. government paid over $15 million to the workers who were exposed, and in 2011, the operator of the plant pled guilty to releasing radioactive mud throughout the town between 1959 and 1976, veritably becoming his own Superman villain. And while the city didn't get the world of Superman, they got their statue. A 15-foot-tall, painted bronze statue was erected in 1993 and stands just across the way from the museum on Main Street. And in 2010, the Noel Neill statue was erected, commemorating the woman who played Lois Lane. It stands to reason that a town flooded with radiation couldn't be saved by the Man of Steel. But still, the people of the town have remained a force for truth, justice, and the American way.
Metropolis, a city reborn, rebuilt, and stronger than ever, proud of its heritage and its heroes. Come visit the city of tomorrow, today.